What if I told you that the most dangerous serial killer in American history was never caught, because nobody knew he existed until 40 years after his death? His name was Samuel Little, and for decades he was invisible. A drifter, a nobody, someone who moved through America's shadows while leaving behind a trail of bodies that wouldn't be discovered for almost half a century. Between 1970 and 2005, Samuel Little murdered at least 93 women across the United States. That's more confirmed victims than Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and John Wayne Gacy combined. Yet most people have never even heard his name. How did he do it? How did one man kill for 35 years without getting caught? The answer is as chilling as it is calculated. Samuel Little didn't target wealthy women from good neighborhoods. He didn't hunt college students or girls from prominent families. No, Little was far more strategic than that. He hunted society's invisible people. His victims were sex workers, drug addicts, and homeless women. Women living on the margins. Women whose disappearances often went unreported. Women whose deaths were frequently written off as overdoses or accidents by police who didn't look too closely. Little would strangle them with his massive hands, a former boxer who knew exactly how to apply pressure without leaving obvious marks. Then he'd dump their bodies in remote areas across different states, different jurisdictions. By the time anyone found them, if they found them at all, the evidence was degraded. The case was cold and Little was 3 states away. He was arrested multiple times over the years for assault, theft, and drug charges. He even spent time in prison, but nobody connected the dots. Nobody saw the pattern. The murders spread across California, Florida, Texas, Ohio, Mississippi, Louisiana, and a dozen other states. Different police departments, different systems, no communication between them. And Little? He kept a mental gallery of every single woman he killed. Years later, sitting in a prison cell, he would draw their faces from memory with haunting accuracy. Sketch after sketch of women the world had forgotten. Women whose families never got closure. Women whose cases were never even opened. In 2018, when he was finally caught and began confessing, detectives were stunned. They'd arrested an elderly man on a drug charge in Kentucky and used DNA to link him to 3 unsolved murders from the 1980s. But when they started questioning him, the floodgates opened. He didn't just confess to 3 murders, he confessed to 93. And the most terrifying part? Investigators believe he's telling the truth. They've confirmed over 60 of his confessions so far, matching his detailed drawings and descriptions to unsolved cases across the country. But here's what keeps detectives up at night. If Samuel Little could kill 93 women and stay invisible for 35 years, how many other serial killers are out there right now hiding in plain sight? Samuel Little killed 93 women and stayed invisible for 35 years. But his story reveals something even more disturbing about how serial killers operate today. The FBI estimates that at any given time, there are between 25 and 50 active serial killers in the United States. That's right now, today, walking among us. And thanks to Samuel Little, we now understand their playbook. Modern serial killers have learned from the mistakes of their predecessors. Ted Bundy got caught because he had a pattern, a type. He stayed in one region too long. He became predictable. But killers like Samuel Little, they've evolved. They target victims from marginalized communities people society has failed to protect. They move constantly, never staying in one jurisdiction long enough to raise red flags. They kill in ways that can be mistaken for natural causes or accidents. And most importantly, they blend in. No manifestos, no taunting police, no desire for fame. Just silent, methodical murder. Take the Long Island serial killer, for example. Between 1996 and 2010, at least 10 bodies were found near Gilgo Beach in New York. Mostly sex workers. The killer used burner phones, avoided cameras, and left minimal evidence. It took until 2023 to arrest a suspect, an architect named Rex Heuermann, a married father who lived a completely normal suburban life. Or consider the case of the unsolved Highway of Tears murders in Canada. Since 1970, at least 18 women, mostly indigenous, have disappeared or been found dead along a 450-mile stretch of highway. Decades later, most cases remain unsolved. The pattern is clear. Serial killers today aren't the attention-seeking monsters we see in movies. They're patient, they're invisible, and they know exactly which victims society is least likely to miss. Samuel Little himself said it in an interview. "I never killed nobody important, nobody who mattered." That statement should haunt us all, because it reveals the dark truth. These killers succeed not just because they're cunning, but because we've created a system where some lives are valued less than others, where missing person reports for certain demographics don't trigger immediate searches, where deaths are quickly ruled accidental without thorough investigation. Samuel Little died in prison in 2020 at age 80. He never faced trial for most of his murders. Many of his victims remain unidentified to this day. But his legacy isn't just 93 confirmed murders. It's the blueprint he followed, the same one countless other killers are using right now. So the question isn't whether there are serial killers among us. The question is, how many more victims will disappear before we start looking?
Thanks for watching Whisper of Dark. If this story sent chills down your spine, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We explore the darkest mysteries, unsolved crimes, and terrifying tales every week.